Good evening. The Rona talk is here tonight.
Talking about the Rona.
So we've had some pretty good discussions, the wife and I today, about the Rona talk,
The Rona talk.
about the coronavirus, whatever you want to call it.
COVID-19.
If you're watching this later, this is right in the middle of the corona.
What is today? April 14th.
And it is some nasty stuff, or supposedly.
Let's talk about it.
So let's talk about it. What could happen? Me and Jody was talking about it today. What could happen just by what has happened here in the United States of everything shutting down by the chance of dying in the United States is 0.007. 2 zeros and a 7.
0.007%
chance that we have shut this whole entire country down. The whole entire world has been shut down by point.
Pretty easily.
Pretty easily. No,
like everybody just went along with it. Like,
nobody really bucked the system hardly at all, and all that kind of stuff. What other freedom?
But so then the other issue with that. So we both want to talk.
Yeah. So if you don't like controversy, obviously
you might want to leave.
You can just keep right on scrolling. And if you put a hater comment down there,
you don't have to agree with it.
We don't have to agree with it. We can.
And
delete
disclaimer: we're not experts in any of this.
Nope.
We're just talking it out.
Talking. We're seeing facts that we're seeing that who knows if those are true facts or not.
And so the other thing is, it's not really shut down because if you've driven around, has anybody driven around? There are all kinds of people out. Every Kroger, we drove around twice today. Every Kroger, like hundreds of people walking to Kroger. So one of the issues I have with this whole thing is the arbitrary kind of, Tucker wanted to be in it, arbitrary shutting down of things. So like, for instance, it kind of came up in our state, our great state of Kentucky here over the weekend, with church, coming up on Easter services. And he put out an order of recording license plates and having people referred to law enforcement for quarantine if they attended church in person. And the news article I said that in the entire state of Kentucky, we're talking about 7 churches. But the governor felt this was important enough to make an order that you can't go to church. But at the same time, I can go to Kroger, Walmart, Home Depot, Menards, and walk around with hundreds of people and nobody cares. Does anybody not see the hypocrisy in that? I have a problem with this. I forget what the county was. Some tiny country
Bullitt
church
County
had less than 50 people total, some of which drove them out of town because of all the publicity they got. And those people were referred to law enforcement. But I could probably drive, well, they were probably getting just close to closing. But tomorrow, I could drive to Kroger, Walmart, Sam's, Menards. I could just walk into all of these places with hundreds of people with no PPE on, and nobody's going to stop me. I don't even have to buy anything. I could stand there and walk around for an hour, and nobody's going to do anything. So I just kind of find this arbitrary closing. And people say, oh, well, people can go to church online. Well, in this day and age, you can order groceries online. You can order other necessary things online. You can order curbside pickup. There is no need to physically go to a store. So this idea that, well, there's no need to go to church in person, it doesn't work for the stores either. So I kind of have an issue with this. It just seems really hypocritical to me and illogical. I also know a couple of people with closing down hospitals and stuff or doctor's offices. I personally know of some people who have been affected by this. Who have been, can't get medication because it might treat COVID-19. So this person has to go without their needed medication and hope they don't run out because it might treat it. How are we picking and choosing who needs medical care? That's right, Cody. Just bring out the bleach. We're just going to spray everybody down. So I don't know. I just I'm starting to question a lot of things because it doesn't make sense to me. If we really need to be on lockdown, then we should be on lockdown, and we're not really. And it seems very arbitrary, and I don't like it. Anything to add?
So I went to Menards on Monday, day after Easter, and all this stuff, and it was packed. Lots of people around. Of course, you're keeping your distance and stuff. I was there because I was doing essential stuff. Because obviously, I wouldn't go there if I wasn't doing essential stuff,
Thank you,
right?
Cody.
And I think that is this really going to affect this virus? Because here's the thing, we and Jody actually been talking to some people.
Joyce, chiropractor in the state. Aren't we the only state, Joyce, that chiropractors aren't considered essential medicine?
Yes. And the only one that was mandated closed was in Kentucky.
And so what's interesting is I was reading about this. So if you have, let's say, a chronic back issue that like a chiropractor is treating, you can go to the emergency room and get opioids for your pain.
So we can go get drugs.
But you can't go to the chiropractor and get treated.
That you probably could catch the Rona when you go to when you go there.
Right. So that's, see it again. We're kind of like arbitrarily picking. I know, and I'm not going to name any names, but I know someone who was scheduled for a biopsy to see if they would potentially have cancer. And they got there, were in the office, and were sent home because it wasn't worth the risk of exposure.
Crazy.
What the heck? It's not worth, possible cancer because of the exposure of someone who's already there.
And that's the question too: is how many people are being affected?
Right.
Not even by the Rona. How many people are being affected? That like her dad. What was that? When he had a heart attack.
Oh yeah.
He went to a doctor's appointment
because a regular doctor's appointment. He thought he had the flu.
And here they come to find out that it was the Widowmaker.
I had an uncle, the same thing. I went to the doctor for just wasn't feeling right.
And if that wouldn't have happened, then that would have been, you wouldn't even got in there right now. That the media has made us so scared of whatever.
You can't even go.
You can't get in there and do anything. So that is why, some of the things that what it is.
Cody, that's crazy. Put that up there. Banned the sale of seeds and seedlings. I don't even understand that.
So you can't grow a garden, so that way
that's
you have to live on it.
That's your point, Cody. Yeah, you can't grow a garden, so you have to go to the grocery store and get the Rona. That doesn't make any sense.
And you are right about that, Lisa. So,
yeah.
And we might have been driving around your neighborhood looking at your house.
We did look at your house today, Lisa. We'll be contacting you in the future. But anyway, so I've just kind of reached a point where I'm kind of fed up with it. Here's my personal prediction. I think within 2-ish weeks, things are going to start. I said this last week. I told him last week. I think things are going to start opening up. And my reasoning is this. I think human nature, and I think I briefly said this last week on the video, that I think human nature, God made us to be around other people. And I think people are starting to reach their breaking point. And I think with these kind of arbitrary, arbitrary rules that don't all jive with one another, it's not focusing.
I know, I'm trying to.
There I am. I think we're going to reach a point where people are either just going to go out, and the government's going to have to make choices between, are we going to start lifting things, or are we going to start throwing people in jail? Well, there's some places already started throwing people in jail. Thank you, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Letting actual convicted criminals out of the jails, but then putting people in jail because too many were standing next to each other. I'm sorry. Personally, don't agree with that. You let out convicted criminals, but then you're putting people in jail because they are standing too close to each other.
You have a cat on your head.
I do have a cat on my head. We have a lot of pets. If you missed that first video, they're everywhere. But anyways, I think we're going to reach a point where the government's going to have to choose between the two. And I think most government officials are smart enough to realize that the second choice of starting to just throw people in jail is a really, really bad idea.
And in Ohio, they had a big...
they had the protest.
The protest.
The state capitol. It's getting national attention in certain circles. There was a bunch of people protested up at the state capitol.
But who knows? What's your prediction on when do you think it's going to open?
I'm not saying totally open, but I'm saying within 2-ish weeks, we're gonna start seeing
The governor of
them let
Kentucky said today that
July 1st.
July 1st. Everybody else is May 1st, and he's July 1st. So that we'll
So
see how
we're
that
really
gonna
close
go.
to Ohio. So if Ohio opens before Kentucky, I already told him.
Yeah, we'll be going over there.
We're across that river.
river.
See ya.
We probably won't be allowed back in Kentucky because of it.
The goat won't be a baby anymore.
It's growing
Joyce said,
fast.
when it gets lifted, you're going to come see our baby goat. It'll be grown.
What is it, 4 weeks old right now?
Yeah, right at 4 weeks
3 or 4
Sunday.
weeks old?
Yeah.
So, yeah, things going fast around here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of where we're going. Like I say, what's your prediction? When do you think it is? When do you hope it is? I hope it is now. Stop.
I do have good RONA news. We picked up our click list today while we were out and about. Kroger click list for anybody who's not local. Curbside pickup. And it's the best order fulfillment I've had since this all started. I've only been getting anywhere from 50 to 60% of what I requested. And today I got like 90% of what I requested.
So that's a good
pretty
thing.
good. Still missing a few things I'd really like, but that's the best one so far. So I think that's a good sign for the distribution of our goods finally
Catching up
to the
being
situation.
Home. Either that or maybe more people are going out to eat and saying the heck on it.
Yeah, we have gone more. I mean, obviously drive-throughs and pickups, but we've done more eating out than we have in 5 weeks. Twice today, actually.
But
I feel like I was gonna say something else.
What else can we throw curveballs about that we was talking about
the RONA?
About the RONA. And like I say, this is just Jandy.
We're just talking, not experts on this. I'm not on this situation,
but
just
we're just going
out.
off numbers that have been thrown
just
out there.
Talking it out,
and we know that those numbers can all be spewed however you want it to look like. I mean, whether we want to go percentage-wise. I know what was an interesting
thread was someone started a thread asking medical professionals how busy you are if you had hit your peak and all these
at the hospitals.
At the hospitals. And there were some, mostly New York and New Jersey, that said, "Oh my gosh, we are completely overwhelmed." Yes, but almost everybody else, I mean, 99% of hospitals were saying, "No, like we're dead. We're laying off nurses. We have closets full of PPE." So I found that to be a really interesting thread to be like people firsthand, and they would say like, "I'm a nurse at such and such a hospital in this city and state," and I thought that was a really interesting thread that the peak. And some of them saying, like, we keep being told the peak's going to come this week. The peak's going to come this week, week after week after week. And it's not coming, which is a good thing. Like, it's a good thing, but it raises some questions, I think. Because if you watch the mainstream news, you would be led to believe that hospitals everywhere, all over the country, are completely packed.
And I actually heard on television the other day that the hospitals, a lot of them are having money issues because a lot of their money comes from the elected procedures. And so they were saying that it's like 45 to 50% of their money comes from that they're not getting right now. So, it takes a lot to run all the electric and all that stuff, which pay everybody. So, they're taking a hit on that too. But we'll see. We just have
questions. We don't really have any answers.
Nah.
We just have a lot of questions. Our minds are going.
We like to stir stuff too, so
yeah, a little bit.
But
not really.
Probably wouldn't be a good whatever. So question the government. But what's all on your mind this week? What have you what is one thing you're going to do when the lockdown lets up? Where will you be?
Go on a date.
Where will your first place be? And if probably
soccer practice.
Well, is it going to be that or get your hair done?
She's going to be booked forever. I'm not getting in. Yeah, look at our RONA hair. That's why I have the hat on. I may need to take a shower. He might need a haircut. I might have to break out
I have a friend in Alabama
who is a nurse at UAB. Okay. Yes, the flu that hit. Yes.
And I think that is 100%
I really
true.
strongly think. I know around here, and you know this too, Joyce. Like the flu or flu-like illnesses were hitting really hard, like November, December, January. We go to 2 co-ops. My girls and I did 2 all-day co-ops, and from Thanksgiving on, we never had a full day. And by not full, I mean 30 to 50% out every week. I mean, it was really, really empty. Jenna said she remembers her last full day, full class at the one co-op was the beginning of October. So I really, and I know a lot of people are also questioning that. Yeah, put that up there. I suspect it was already here. Can you say major push for vaccines? 100%. I will tell you, if they rush this vaccine through, there is no way on God's green earth. Me or my family, I can't speak for you. Me or my children are getting it.
I might not have an option.
You might have an option. He's a firefighter. I do not consider myself anti-vaccine. I do question the way they're administered in this country quite a bit. And there's no way, if they push this through without the woeful lack of testing that already exists, not a chance. Sorry, our cats are causing havoc. They've decided to investigate the Christmas tree in the middle of this video. Waiting for it to come crashing down.
He's a crazy
It's
cat.
not up. It's in the big bag, but he's on top of it now. But anyway, yeah, so the vaccines, I definitely think this is a big push. And what's interesting, though, is I hear arguments against shutdown that line up more with the vaccine issue. One of the arguments against a shutdown is that this isn't going to stop until 80-ish% of the community, the population, has this herd immunity, which is something we hear a lot in the vaccine circles. So by locking it down, it's, and we know that this is going to come in waves, and that it's going to take so much longer to ever get that herd immunity, that there's actually an argument that we're making our vulnerable population more vulnerable by not allowing our healthy population to gain herd immunity. And I find it interesting that that's also the argument you hear for why vaccines are needed, is to gain herd immunity. But now we don't want natural herd immunity, even though we know that in young people, healthy young people, the chance of complications is very little. They've said this repeatedly from the beginning. Most people are just going to have mild illness. So why wouldn't we want to get that herd immunity out there to protect our elderly, our people with immunodeficiencies and other things? I kind of find it interesting that we're taking it's like they're pushing, like you said, I almost feel like it's a push for, like, let's wait till we have the vaccine, and then you'll start hearing everybody's got to get the vaccine for herd immunity, when it could have been done much sooner, naturally.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But that's what we've been dealing with. Mm-hmm. Been outside a lot. Kids been outside a lot. Yep. We've saved money by not eating out so much.
But we eat more snacks.
We eat more snacks.
So we're saving money. I haven't weighed myself in a while. Last time I weighed myself, the scale hadn't moved. Less eating out, more snacks. Apparently, they cancel each other out. So far, anyway, my jeans were a little tight yesterday.
But hopefully.
How about you?
Yeah, that's not a good thing. I know I'm starting to get
Is your chin coming back?
My chin coming back, so I guess I'm gonna have to get on the old.
Lost. What did you lose? Like 30 pounds?
Right at 30 pounds.
Right before this hit.
Mm-hmm. Right before we went to Disney, because
we stopped at Disney and then we got back from Disney, and apparently we brought the RONA with us.
And so
we got back on Sunday and like Thursday things started closing.
The RONA hit, so.
That's where I got my hat.
Yep. So.
Totally did that, right?
Yeah, it's just so easy to do it, and it's been crappy weather too. Kind of being able to go out and go to the park or go walk.
He kept saying today when to go for a walk, and I'm like, and then he would look at the temperature and go, "It's a little cold."
We're out. We live out in the country, so
we have to go somewhere.
We have to go somewhere.
And our road is hilly and curvy, and we tried walking it like one time and realized that was a death wish.
Unless you want to die.
We don't walk our own road, so we have to like drive and go somewhere to walk.
The closest place is probably 5 miles. So.
Yeah. So.
But so we didn't do that today, and We haven't done it much because it has been crappy weather here lately. But we
We had
have
a couple
went,
nice days. We've gone a couple times.
and then it has been nice because we did get to go as a whole family and everybody go. And of
That's
course,
nice.
our youngest never likes anything, so she's a little
She's
hellion, and so that's what it is. So,
Alright.
but yeah, so that's what we've been doing. That's what we've been up to, and just thought we'd jump on here and say what our thoughts were and all that kind of thing, and let us know if you need any help. Let us know if we can do anything for you. We're definitely willing to do whatever we can. If you want to know anything about homeschooling, you can ask her. Want to know
I
anything
can't believe
about
we're on, what are we, 6 years now?
6 years going?
How did that happen?
You want to know anything about starting and growing a business? You can ask me. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I do a lot of YouTube stuff. I can help you out there too. But yeah, I love YouTube. You love homeschooling?
Yeah, it's a love-hate. Not much choice right now. So.
Well, I wouldn't call this homeschooling.
No, this
right
is
now.
not homeschooling. I really like the meme that's going around. It says no. I don't remember exactly. But basically, nobody's homeschooling right now. This is quarantine schooling, because normally when we're homeschooling, we go to co-ops and we can go to the library and do field. I had all these field trips on the calendar for spring when it opened up, and I keep moving them. I move them 2 weeks at a time, hoping that they keep moving.
So, but it is what it is, and we're living history. Our kids.
Oh, I know what else. But the kids. We were talking about this. Like, I think, and for adults too, it's really telling what are your kids, what activities are they in that they actually enjoy and really miss, and what do they not? And I'm finding it really interesting with the girls. They are 11 and 5. Of what do they talk about? What do they miss? What do they not really miss? What are we maybe gonna drop when this opens? What friends they talk about and which ones they don't, even though I was under the impression they were closer than that. I think it's really interesting. This time, kind of forced separation from the rest of the world is really going to show us, if you take the time, and even yourself, like, what do you miss doing? What do you not miss doing? What can you cut back out of your life and slow down and maybe spend more time with your family? The other thing I think is really interesting, and I won't say specifically what they are because I think she would be mad at me, but there are interests that our older daughter has. How do I say this? Stuff she liked when she was younger, and over the past couple of years has decided she doesn't like. Well, now she's not around her friends, and keep in mind she's a preteen and wants to be cool and stuff. All of a sudden, she really likes those things again. And I think that's really interesting because I feel like I'm getting to see her and who she really is, out with no outside influences. What is she like, and what is she really interested in? What is she maybe not? Oh, yeah. So our church announced yesterday, I believe, that they have made the decision to go ahead and cancel summer camp for middle and high schoolers. And yes, there were many tears shed in our home as well. That was like one thing. Jenna was already counting down the dates, like, okay, all this other stuff is canceled, but church camp's still going on. And they went ahead and because of the restrictions in our church is in one state and the camp was in another, between the two states, and the lead time needed to get registrations and make plans and everything, they made the decision to just cancel for the summer. And so that has been really hard. That was a blow. And now I get to tell her, I need to tell her soon, sooner rather than later, that we just found out that her soccer tournament, one of her tournaments, one had already been canceled. They were scheduled for 3 this season. One had already been canceled, and they had one travel tournament scheduled for mid-May, and it has been postponed into the summer. But our coaching staff decided they don't want to do extend into the summer. So now I get to tell her that
we're not going to Nashville.
And she is really, I'm not really sure why, she's really looking forward to her orthodontist appointment. But it's at the end of April, and I keep telling her, honey, it's probably canceled. It's probably I need to just call. I told her I would call them about a week ahead of time to make sure, but I keep trying to tell her that it's canceled. And I told her the other day, I caught her looking at they gave us literature when we were there for our initial consult. And I caught her looking at it, and I said, honey, that's probably canceled. And she just started crying. She was like, it's my last thing to look forward to.
She's been crying a lot here lately, so she's
hard.
Got all kind of emotions.
She's a girl, and it's hard.
I know.
You should cry a little more.
She's losing her goat.
Oh, yeah, we haven't told them yet. So Pip Squeak.
If anybody wants a male goat.
Our male, fully intact buck goat, pygmy goat, black. He's pretty cute. We have decided to find him a new home. It's just as he's reached maturity, he's about 11 months old, it is becoming really obvious. Keep in mind, our setup is they're actually backyard pets. They're in our yard with our dogs, and the girls go play, and like it's not like a pasture or something. They're in our backyard. As he's reached maturity, it's becoming really obvious that a fully intact adult male is
we have another baby too. That's a female that we're going to keep her.
But we discussed neutering him,
right?
And making him a wether. But the problem is because he's already matured, there's no guarantee that neutering him will stop these behaviors. You know, if we neutered him as a little baby, then it probably would have never happened. But there are certain behaviors, and I don't really want to go into a lot of detail. But if he doesn't stop certain things, or trying to do certain things, our dogs are going to kill him. Seriously, Tank had him by the neck the other day. So we feel like it's less traumatic to get rid of her pet, that is Jenna's goat, than it is to come home one day and find that it's been killed by another pet. Boy, yes, Joyce. Boy goats are, boys in general, really, a stinky, horny challenge. Oh, yes. They, this really wasn't an issue until the past couple of months. He's kind of grown up fast and doesn't really work in the backyard.
He's got
anymore.
this habit that when he decides he's nice and whatever you want to do it.
Excited.
He
gets excited.
He pees on his head.
His head, which apparently is normal.
And it's like, you stupid goat.
Like, he thinks it smells good.
Right. And he does it when he starts chasing it.
And then he starts chasing the other animals around, and not just the other goats.
or just animals.
Or not just, yes.
So...
it's possible our daughters ran in the house the other day and locked the door because...
But, on the other hand...
He is a good goat, though. He's really sweet.
We were sitting in the bathroom the other night when the tornado was coming around our house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had tornado. That happened since our last... I don't know where you're going with this.
Do you want to tell what Jill did? So our youngest daughter...
5 years old.
We're sitting in the bath. The two girls are in the bathtub.
We put them in the bathroom, or the bathtub, and we're in the bathroom with them, door shut. Tornado above the house, you know. Somehow, I don't know how we got talking about the goats and something. I don't know. Trying to calm them down by talking about other things.
Because our oldest daughter was crying.
She was really scared.
Our youngest daughter was just like, you know.
She was fine. But so we were just talking about stuff, and I don't remember what she said.
I don't know, something about the goats.
Something about how he was being crazy.
Yeah, he was being crazy today. He was up when he got up on the bathtub.
She got up on the bathtub and demonstrated what Pip was doing to the dog.
That was the funniest thing ever. The funniest thing ever. See, when we tell stories like that, we get 10 viewers. Good old Bucks.
Yeah, I think Pam was the first one that told me. She asked me if he was peeing on his face yet. And I was like, no. What are you talking about? That's disgusting. Yeah, apparently I just needed to wait a few more weeks. Because I think that was, February when you asked me that? Yeah, by March. By the end of March, he had started that nonsense. And he seems to... So anytime he gets excited about anything, he apparently decides that it's that kind of excitement. So like if we bring out too many treats, he like gets really excited and starts chasing
Whatever's around.
whatever's close. Or in the morning, so we still lock up. Now we have our new barn, which you guys saw. We still lock up Sugar, the mama, and Margaret, the baby, at night. I lock them up at night. I'll probably continue doing that because I sleep better. I don't worry about coyotes and hear everything. So we lock them up at night. Well, in the morning, we tell him we're going to go get his girls out, and he gets real excited, and he starts making noises. And the minute they come out, he's chasing Sugar around the yard. It's just like he gets excited about anything. I collect scraps for them, like, like, I don't know, tops of strawberries or
lettuce heads
or whatever. And if I bring the scraps out, he gets all excited, and he forgets he forgets he's supposed to be excited about the food. He's excited about other stuff. So anyway, that's Peppers.
That was a good story.
I'll be a little sad to see him go. He's a pretty good goat.
Yeah.
He was headbutting.
He was bad
about that. And I read a blog post. I wish I should try to find it because I should credit the guy. It was a goat farmer, and he said that he carries around a spray bottle on his belt, and he sprays them in the face if they headbutt, and that really worked. And I know our goats don't like the rain. A lot of times they won't even go out and graze in the rain. They'll stay inside. So I didn't have a spray bottle, but we have a garden hose, and that is actually super effective. You gotta see this comment coming in a minute. Poor Pammy. One of her goats has jumped her before. Humped. Oh, humped. Well, either word works.
I think it's
understood.
the same.
Yes, so that happened to Jenna one day. That's when we were saying the girls ran in and shut the door. She was like, "Oh, Pip's gone crazy." I was like, "What?" She's like, "He tried to mate with me." I'm like, what? Oh, yes, Jenna is growing into quite the farm girl. She is learning all about the facts of life, and
she Googles
it. Luckily, we have her computer on lockdown, or that might be a scary search, but he's really good at that stuff. He's locked the girls' devices down pretty tightly. Good thing, because Jenna started Googling the mating habits of goats. And Lord knows what that would have taken to her with no filters. PSA, put filters on your kids' computers. That's off topic, but oh my gosh, Pammy. Oh, Pammy, since you're on here, I hope you're still here. Why are you guys getting rid of your goats? I saw that the other day.
Are you really getting rid of your goats? The Zacharys have a whole
herd, right?
Herd
are you really getting rid of your whole herd?
You can message her, or if you just want a buck,
Pam. If you just need a buck,
it's yours. We won't even charge you. Free.
Yeah.
100% free.
But Jenna does want to retain visitation rights.
Yeah, so you can't.
That'll die down after a while. You can't eat him. You made her cry the other day. We were watching a documentary or something. I don't know. One of the cooking shows or something, and they were making lamb. And so I said something. We have a sheep farm down the road that actually sells lambs for meat. And so I said something about, you girls know there's little baby lambs out in the field, right? And then you weren't even saying anything. You said something about getting rid of Pip. Like a couple minutes later, and Jenna starts crying. And we're like, what are you talking about? Why are you crying? And she says, Pip, we're going to eat Pip. No, honey, we're not going to give him to anybody we think is going to eat him. We think. Besides, I would imagine an intact male probably isn't.
No, probably
good eating anyway.
No. He's not that big. You wouldn't get that much out of
Right?
it.
Yeah. But she was very upset about it, thinking we were going to give him to somebody who was going to eat him.
But
there are people you go. There's a restaurant in Clifton, Cincinnati. I've heard is very good. Good goat.
All right, we've been on here way longer than we usually.
Well, we've had more interaction than we usually do. Apparently, talking about the Rona and goats.
And goats have gotten some good. Good talking going on here, so good stuff.
Trying to okay. So you're getting rid of what, your Nigerian dwarfs, and you want to switch over to boar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So if you want a Nigerian dwarf herd,
I got you.
There you go.
You don't want the.
And if you want a pygmy buck, talk to us.
But
All right, we should probably get off here. It's getting long.
mm-hmm. All righty. Well, thanks for everybody showing up, coming out, seeing us.
We're still here.
Still here. We're still making it. Still kicking. Still doing what we can.
Put on your jeans every couple days just to make sure
they fit. Still, you gotta get out of your comfy pants. So, but
yeah,
tomorrow is another day. That's about it.
That's about it.
What's this here?
Oh, I know. I'm not going to tell her that. Especially not because you're my example of people who have goats on a farm but still love them very much, which I know you do, but she won't believe me if I tell him you eat them.
Right. So, but
don't tell her that.
But see y'all later.
Bye.